Now, just coming in, President Bola Tinubu has declared a state of emergency in Rivers State for an initial period of 6 months. And joining us tonight to look at this development is Honorable Peter Ameh, the former IPAC chairman. He joins us live here in Abuja virtually to discuss all of this development. Thanks so much for joining us this evening. On a quick one, the president, in a move described by some to be a peaceful move to resolve the crisis coming out from Rivers State, has suspended the governor, deputy governor, and all of the activities of the government within the state. What is your reaction? Can you unmute your mic?
No. This is what I'm saying. It is a fact that there have been crises in other parts of Nigeria. And I speak to you, Borno State, in Zambisa Forest is still under the control of bandits. As I speak to you in Zamfara, people are still taking levy from communities. Bandits are still taking levies and taxes. With Katsina, in Sokoto, these are challenges that are there in our nation. And we have in democracy. There must be contestations of ideas. We cannot have a process where in a representative democracy where the people decide through the ballot who their representative should be. And then you have this quasi authority given to the president, the military authority given to the president to declare state of emergency. And that power should not even stand alone. I think there should have been consultation with resolution and approval from the National Assembly. Because if the president have unrestricted power to declare state of emergency in Nigeria without any check and balance from the National Assembly, then we are in for an half-baked dictatorship. It is not right. It is not good. The challenges in Rivers State are not that as huge as the kind of crisis that have happened where people have impeached and unimpeached in Lagos State. Is that does not as unusual like what has happened in other parts of the state. We cannot have democracy without contestation of there, without struggle for power. These are all part of the democratic development process. So declare state of emergency in Rivers State. I sympathize with people of Rivers State, and I think well-meaning civil society group, political activists, public affairs analysts, and political parties especially, and leaders of thought, and political leaders, and should be able to stand up to speak and then speak against this, because it is not acceptable, it is not good, it is not something we should continue to encourage within our democratic system. How many times have you heard that a state of emergency has been declared by president in South Africa? How many times have we been here, despite what EFF is doing in South Africa, despite the huge uproar that comes in their National Assembly meeting, parliamentary meeting? How many times have you heard president declaring such in South Africa, in Egypt, in Syria? Even these are the worst situation. We should not develop a culture of handing look, we are running a federal system. In a federal system, there's a federating unit. Every federating unit come together to form a federal unit. We cannot have a situation, we are already declaring that the center is too strong. Only for the center to use the power of having the armed forces by themselves and having the police, and then removing from office an elected governor, a deputy governor elect, and House of Assembly members elect. I don't see it as a welcome development, and I don't see it as a solution to the problem in Rivers State.
The other time, we're already threatening to impeach the governor. They are also written in some cases about the misconduct of the governor and the deputy governor. Do you feel that this move by the president was to scuttle that move of impeachment and that had actually drawn a lot of reactions?
They cannot impeach the governor. The impeachment of the governor will even take about 4 or 5 months more, because they have to write to the chief judge. The chief judge has to set up a panel of 9 or so. That panel are supposed to sit down, review the allegation before them, and then take a decision and report back within 3 months, and report back to the State House of Assembly. So they cannot impeach the governor. All these ones are just part of the political plan charade to be able to undermine democratic forces and democratic participation and mass people's participation. What has happened in Rivers? If people are protesting, protest is peaceful. It is enshrined in our constitution for section 39, freedom of expression, section 40, freedom of association, and section 41. So there's no freedom of movement. There's no way you can decide now to say overlook all the legal authority that have been put together for Nigerians to have a robust democratic discussion, a robust democratic engagement, for us to continue to challenge ourselves. Because without judge door, without several disagreement, you will never come to an agreement. Without several discussion, you will never find a solution. So restricting that natural process in a democracy from taking place is like trying to hijack the democratic process and not allow the full implementation of those who have been elected to take care of the affairs and the management of Rivers State.
Moving forward, what does this mean for the not just Rivers State? I mean, cases like this, which many will say maybe a yardstick for operations in other states. If by level of having concern of issues between the executive and the legislature, does that result to this move?
Nothing justifies this move. First, if it was taken, because I have not seen any resolution from the National Assembly. If it was whether it was a unilateral decision or a bilateral, whether it is a decision taken solely by the authority of the president, because there has to be a resolution in the National Assembly passed by the majority, whether to third. I will check that particular law, and then there has to be a resolution, because we run a constitutional democracy. We run a democracy based on federal system. We run a democracy where the local government, the state government, and local federal government have their own authority to bear on the state. The governor is the chief executive officer of the state. The governor is supposed to be responsible for the activity of the state. And there is no time that whether if there are crisis, the Supreme Court has returned the State Assembly back in place. And the State Assembly has been sitting uninterrupted for some days now. It is known to everybody. So how the outcome? Suddenly, the State Assembly is wiped out. Suddenly, the governor and his deputy are taken away from office for 6 months. No, we must protect this democracy that we have. We must defend it. We must continue to speak for the truth of this democracy and make sure that this democracy does not fall into a process where local government chairmen can be arbitrarily suspended, where state governors can be removed from office, and the wicked are discussing problem. As the president, look at what Wike said on national TV, talking about the Jaws, talking about the Igbos. As the president asked that Wike, since you are part of this crisis and I'm suspending people, can you also set aside for 6 months where we can enjoy his power? The governor has lost his. No. This is not how we should nurture our democracy. This is not how we should develop our democracy.
Today we were monitoring what was happening. There was a concern of blowing up pipelines, some issues coming from that area. Some person said that in the happenings of this security volatility, which has in the section 305 of the Constitution, that the move might be justifiable from the presidency for peace
within 24 hours
and protection of the
only one pipeline is blown a day, and it will become a justified reason to remove a sitting governor. The gold we have in Zamfara is more than the oil we have. Have we been able to justify to call a state of emergency in this state, or look at for a way to secure that? It is the responsibility of the president as commander-in-chief of the armed forces to find security solution to security issues, not to use security solution to upturn the democratic governance in the state. These are factual issues. These are the facts. Look, this country is a country dear to my heart. A country we love, all of us. We want this country to blossom, to grow, to prosper, so that our children can work and live a better life. And that is why we are saying, without democratic principles, principle-driven decisions, we might be endangering the opportunity to grow a robust democracy and develop the future of our children in a way that there will have freedom of expression, freedom of women, and freedom to participate in political activities. So we cannot outlaw this process. And one explosion. Do we know? Have we gotten the report of why the explosion occurred? Do we even know whether it was a normal explosion because there was a combustion in the gas line? Do we know that no public record has been issued, no public statement has been issued by NNPC as regards what caused the explosion? Are there people who are more than Nigerians that cannot be apprehended with the bomb explosion? So these are issues. It's just one incident or two or three is not enough to take out a democratically elected governor. It is not enough.
Said this is just a suspension and not a total removal, that probably after 6 months.
The governor is not a secondary school child. No, I do not want to hear you. He's not a man that is attending kindergarten classes. He's not a man that is running on the street or looking for referee to blow whistle, whether he can be given red card or yellow card. There are procedural processes that have been laid for the management of the state. The state assembly is in full function as stated by the Supreme Court. So the state assembly should have been notified of this decision, and the state assembly should have called the governor to ask him as the chief security officer of the state to appear before them and cause the reason for them to state what has happened. If the governor has no information because he does not control security forces directly, he will write to the president and say, this is the challenge in my state. Please, can I see the report of the security report that you have, so that we can look at how to be able to give you advice. This is our territory to make this not to occur again. This process has not been followed. This is an emergency decision that has led to an emergency removal of a governor.
And now a lot of persons are saying, I mean, the mediation effort that was initiated by even the PANDEV, who led a delegation to the Aso Rock to look for a way of getting peace, even when they said the camp of Wike were not obeying, which is at the House of Assembly. The governor said, I've made efforts to obey the Supreme Court judgment. Now that the suspension, now that the president have actually suspended all of these activities, what may be the fate of the mediation or negotiation to restore electoral peace or, I mean, governance within the state?
I hope this is not where we are going to see a state of emergency, where we see the voice of Jacob, the hand of Esau. And let me not be a bad Bible student. But the fact is that we do not believe, and I do not believe that there should be an state of emergency in any state in Nigeria. If there should be one, it should be Borno State. It should be places that people cannot go to farm. It will be places that bandits are asking our people to pay taxes. It will be places that bandits have taken control of communities and also levying them and even taking their land. So for the mediation settlement agreement that the president participated, it was out of freedom to participate. Both of them, Bubara belongs to the PDP, the president belongs to the APC. Nobody expects that an APC man will feel what is right for an APDP man. You know, it's politics. Sincerely, nobody expects that a PDP man, because everybody is trying to use his party to make sure his party gains victory. So I don't believe in the mediation. Yes, PANDEV at work. We saw the governor on television to try to go to the state assembly. He was locked out. We saw the reply of Wike on TV. These are not Wike on television, when he said that why should they open gate for them? That they have children, that they were not notified. So we saw what we understand this theater of play that is going on, that is interplaying themselves. But what I'm saying, there were no proper process followed. There was no proper report given to us as a result of the crisis that must have led to this removal and this suspension. And this suspension is thought out. Is not well thought out. It's not a democracy, and I don't believe that we should have a democracy when one man will continue to wake up in the morning just like during the time of military where they say fellow countrymen. We cannot have that. Democracy is what I believe in. Democracy is what I will love. Democracy is what we should defend, and Nigerians must continue to defend it because it levels the children of the poor with the children of the rich. It gives you the opportunity to participate in the process that had been issued. You wouldn't have had the opportunity to participate if it was based on status of a society, if it was based on how much you earn and how much your parents own. So democracy is that thing that levels, or it can be irritating to those who have so much resources, who have had so much power, to see that level playing field that's been created by democracy should be dismantled so that they can have upper hand. But you cannot dismantle democracy. Democracy is a kind of government created for the people that is to be nurtured by the people, and that's supposed to make a society flourish into a society that people can have better standard of living. So we can't have military running military quasi authority in a state that's supposed to be run by democracy, and this is bad for us to bring them in so that they can now start to test waters again. It might not be good for us, but we need to save our democracy, and I will protect this democracy with every voice that I have, with the authority to speak the truth, with the authority to tell the president it is not a welcome decision.
Do you feel the governors forum have been silenced over this? Because others are saying injury to one might be injury to, to all.
I sympathize with the opposition governors, especially. I sympathize with them. If they continue to sit like lame dogs, if they don't have the courage, I don't know what they have done that it make them not to be able to speak up, and they don't have the courage to be able to defend their fellow colleague. They say, well, the rain that beat your brother yesterday might be your turn next tomorrow because you did not give him an umbrella. Because if when it comes to your turn, you might not also get an umbrella from him. So they must be able to sit down, decide their decision, put their thought out, and condemn with everything that is possible under the law and within our democratic practice.
Honorable Peter Ameh, the former chairman of Inter-Party Advisory Council Nigeria, thanks so much for joining us on the show tonight. We do hope that all of these matters will continue to follow that and their development as well. Thanks so much.
Thank you very much.
Of course, the crisis in Rivers State has taken another dimension. Now that the president has declared state of emergency, a lot of reaction and expectation of suspending the governor and the deputy governor, and even making moves to appoint an administrator in that state has triggered a lot of reaction. But anyways, we'll continue to monitor. That means if that will resolve the peace, the issues and the concern, the crisis in Rivers State, and brings about the peace and stability. And for the Constitution, what does the law say about declaring state of emergency? We'll be bringing an highlight of that, and of course, the reactions of stakeholders, political gladiators, in respect to this political development. My name is Edikan Michael. Thanks so much for joining us tonight on the show. We'll do well to see you again tomorrow for another episode and edition of the show. Bye-bye for now.